Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Screen Scene Guru. Today I'll be discussing movie news and all kinds of popular items. Starting off with the new Avatar Fire and Ash trailer. Thought it was a fantastic trailer. I'll be leaving a link in the description so you guys can check it out. It dropped a few days ago, just about a week ago. So I thought that was really cool for James Cameron to remind everyone about his billion-dollar franchise. But going into this, I'll kind of break up the trailer a bit. It shows off our new antagonist, this new tribe, the Fire Tribe, all kinds of new aspects of the Avatar Pandora's world, which is going to be explored a lot like the Abyss. A lot of people said the trailer reminded them that. We get to see some more lore, some more backstory with Spider being the first human to transition to where, well, I guess Jake Sully transitioned from human to Na'vi, but this is the first full-blooded human to transition to breathing on Pandora, and Jake's basically warning that if the humans figure out a way to do this, we will be gone, the Na'vi indigenous species. So very fascinating stuff there. We get to see a little bit more of their creatures, the airships they use to flee. So really awesome visuals there. Cameron apparently had worked on this concept art years ago, but he waited until the VFX and all the technology was right to have it shot. So that's very good. But yeah, I really like the trailer. It looks very battle heavy, like all the Avatar movies. They are going to have a re-release of Way of Water in October, which is apparently going to have an extended sequence setting us up for Fire and Ash coming out in December 20th. So very fascinating stuff there, guys. If you guys are interested in that, I'll leave a trailer link in the description. But moving on from there, I do want to discuss a bit of Raw SmackDown news. I did do a video covering it. If you guys haven't checked that out, be sure to check out that video. But I do want to talk about last week on SmackDown, Jade Cargill face injury. It was trending and like a really big hole she basically received after her head was slammed into the steel chair or steel steps. So really hoping that she recovers soon and that she does better. Going on, hearing about some more of these acting roles and gigs. We got, let's see, Star Wars Visions Season 3 was announced, so really good things for that. Really big pop in the zeitgeist for the trailer. Even though Mandalorian Grogu trailer, a lot of people were turned off by how childish it was. This anime, straight up cartoon trailer, got a lot of fans hyped and excited about it, so that's very interesting. There have been drones sighted over Denmark, so I do want to go into some ufology news real quick for all of you guys that like to follow that stuff. Given that this is an Avatar video, it's perfect. There have been several predominant YouTubers and podcasters coming forward saying that by next year they're going to start to reclassify psych abilities, some of this ESP, remote viewing, and also telepathic transmedium different abilities that people have said for years they've had. Now apparently the government is going to start categorizing them and officially giving them a designation, which is very interesting to hear. We know the government's worked with these paranormal psychic investigators and as well as people looking for lost objects, missing people, these remote viewers. The government has had a long history in working with them ever since the 1960s, the end of World War II. But it sounds like from predominant YouTubers and others that the known human abilities will expand faster and more like X-Men. So I don't know exactly how they're going to be catalyzed as like X-Men, but superhuman, if you will. This is apparently part of this disclosure that's going to come out before they actually start showing us video of craft landing. Apparently there's a YouTuber and a podcaster called Skywalkers and they actually have obtained video of convincing one of their psych handlers to convince a craft to land at a NASA facility, and they've yet to release the video, so that's very fascinating news there. But yeah, really interesting stuff about abilities being released to the public, and that we will have a whole new kind of almost like a similar to Star Trek with the Beta Zeds, where they were empathic, they were empaths. They could feel their emotions, and a little bit of psychic, telepathic. It sounds like we're moving towards a culture or civilization that is going to normalize that, accept it, instead of trying to put it away. So that's good. But yeah, Denmark had drones that shut down their airport. And it's one of the predominant airports in Denmark, in Europe. But when they showed the video of the drones flying over the coastline, they look like black triangles. And I know a lot of people, when they hear that, they immediately think of the government. So yeah, that was very interesting to hear about, and captured on video too. And I know skeptics always talk about, where's the video evidence? Well, there was perfectly clear video evidence right there in Denmark. And they're still asking what they are. So that's very fascinating. Disney, apparently now the numbers are out about what it cost them to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel over his scandalous Charlie Kirk comments. And apparently they've released the estimates, $1.7 million in Disney Plus subscriber losses in just 7 days. So that was really fast. Of course, given the controversy of free speech and everything that's going on with that situation, he has, of course, come back. There's been, I believe, 2 broadcasts of his, or at least one or two, where he has come back and he's allowed to give his monologue, his speech. He even put in a little code to re-download Disney Plus. I think they made him do that, which was fascinating. Going on from there, we heard a rumor that Michael B. Jordan and Glenn Powell might be our new runner-up for the Miami Vice reboot, which is very interesting because it's being made by Krasinski, who just got done with F1, and he shot Top Gun Maverick. Now they're working on Miami Vice with the rumored cast: Michael B. Jordan, Glenn Powell. I like this. I like Michael B. Jordan, definitely. I haven't seen enough from Glenn Powell to think he's a good enough actor. I didn't think he brought it in Twisters. I thought he was really good in Top Gun Maverick. But then everything else I've seen him in, it's kind of like, oh, what's he going for? So that's very interesting. We did hear about Peacemaker Season 7 and 8 dropping. There's just 1 episode left, guys. This is part of that 3-episode movie-like finale James Gunn's been talking about. So really interesting stuff there. We did see kind of a confirmation, if you will, that this is Dimension X, Planet X, where they, of course, Nazis won the World War II, and they developed the world in their style and their upbringing. We get a confirmation of Peacemaker's dad says he doesn't agree with the politics of the planet. He wasn't alive when the decisions were made. He just tries to do the best he can. So that's kind of cool that we get a redemption of that character. Since season 1, he was such an asshole. We also get to see Peacemaker's brother kind of being really upset that he swapped places with the other dimension's Peacemaker. He feels like he needs to get revenge over him. So that was very funny to see. Also going into a bit of the ending, it looks like Peacemaker has returned to his own dimension, and that there's going to be some consequences between him and Rick Flag, of course. They used Lex Luthor's help to find Peacemaker, so they are setting up Easter eggs for Man of Tomorrow, with Superman 2, the unofficial sequel to Superman, with Lex Luthor getting out of jail with the help of Rick Flag Sr. So that was very interesting. Another big story that's been popping off this week, AI actresses. Now, this is something that's come up with SAG-AFTRA. They've talked about it for a long time. The banning of AI, or at least if there's no human element in controlling it. But Tilly Norwood was an AI actress. She was offered multiple roles until the studios had to be contacted. Agents had to be reminded, this is not a real person. She can't show up anywhere in real life. This is only a digital fake person. And she's been rendered by other actresses, which is another thing. They've kind of stolen the beauty, if you will, or the natural acting skills of numerous people and put it together to make a fake generated person. So that's very concerning for the industry, for a lot of people. A lot of actresses are coming out disgusted by this. That's very fascinating to hear. Real quick, there is a new horror film coming out called Psycho Killer, which they just dropped the trailer for. I watched it. I might put that in the description as well, because it looks very good. It looks like it's a cop, after her partner, is murdered by a tyrannical psycho killer, of course. She hunts him down, following his victims, the remnants of the next victims. She chases him down to find his lair, and she sees that he has been conducting satanic rituals to kind of make himself the devil, it looks like. Similar to Longlegs. If you guys watch Longlegs and you like the symbols, the different uses of the story, the 9 Rings of Hell, it's very like that. It's done by the same person who did Barbarian. It's not Zach Kreger, it's the same producer. So just to make sure you guys know about that. But yeah, that's really cool. Other movie news, Simpsons 2 was greenlit from the studio, and it's happening at Disney. Disney controls Simpsons and their IP, so you have to blame Disney if you've been wondering the last 20 years where a Simpsons sequel was. Now they've officially greenlit one for 2027 release in June, which is right around the same time they released the first one by about 19 years. Not quite 20. They're a couple days off of 20. But yeah, very interesting to see that they're going to do Simpsons 2, that I'm really excited for, because I liked the first movie. Not a big fan of the show. I watched all the Halloween episodes, of course, the Tales of Terror, I believe there are. But yeah, interesting to see they're going on in 2028 to make season 38, and they're just continuing on the franchise. They're not going to end it. Because it's one of the longest running animated, comedy satire shows, and I think it's really influenced pop culture overall. But moving on to some more horror news, we got Scream 7, which is happening. Brand new logo with the line through it, slash mark through it, which is similar to the Scream 5 logo that was teased when they were in production of Scream 5 that they ended up taking away. They didn't use that logo. But now for Scream 7, they are. So that's really cool to see. They're losing the Roman numerals from 6, because 6 was the 5 and the I, which was kind of fun, but a lot of people didn't get it, apparently. So now they're going away from Roman numerals, just showing the 7 number. Then we've got James Gunn discusses a new strategy for releasing stories based on the character's popularity, which kind of makes sense about that. He said in a quote, certain stories are easier to do because the popular audience knows who they are. Superman, he liked Lanterns and a few others, Supergirl. But then when he went into his own personal passion project, The Authority, he mentioned he's brought on several writers' crews to try to work on that film, and each draft just quite hasn't hit the mark. Similar to other projects, like he talked about, let's see, where is it? It's not Soldier of Fortune, but there's another one, Sergeant Rock. That's who it is. Sergeant Rock has yet to be finished in the writing room. Apparently they're working on Batman Brave and the Bold, but they haven't gotten a script back that they're satisfied with. Apparently the Matt Reeves news is going forward. They are working on Batman Part 2 with Pattinson, and it has been rumored to be darker, deeper, and more emotional. So that's very interesting. That's coming from Colin Farrell himself, talking about his small role in the film, but overall the project is deeper, more emotional, and scarier than the first film. So that's very interesting. Then we got to see Joe Russo leaked an Instagram picture of the Avengers Doomsday set, and he said look hard, similar to when they released the Avengers Infinity War production set photos, and then he posted a cryptic message saying look hard, and people apparently saw the letters in game written in the photo, and that's how they guessed the name of the last Avengers film. Well, now people are rumoring that it may be AVX, Avengers versus X-Men. I'm not sure if they're going to go all that hard and show off that. I think it still might be titled Doomsday, but at the way that they're having problems with the production and all the other drama around it at Marvel and Disney, I wouldn't be too surprised if we did get a name change, and it could very well be Avengers versus X-Men, because that would bring in everybody in the world. But moving on from there, we got Jeremy Irons joins the cast of Highlander. He's going to play a Watcher, which sounds really cool. Then going on from there, some great cinema news, guys. If you're a big fan of the cinema, I went out recently and saw that One Battle After Another. I've got a review out for it. You guys can check it out. But during the screening for that, we saw in the trailers they're going to be releasing the 25th anniversary of course, Battle Royale. And this was the Korean film that inspired stories such as Hunger Games, and they inspired stories like Squid Game. But this was the original. This was from the adapted book. And I just thought that it was really cool that we saw a trailer for it, and that they're putting it right back in theaters, because Battle Royale, 25th anniversary, awesome. And then, of course, another one, we've got the Kill Bill Whole-Bloody-Affair coming out. It's going to be released on December 5th, so it's coming out right around the holidays, as well as Avatar and a lot of other things. And it's going to be the full motion picture. So there's not going to be two parts like traditionally we've seen here in the West. There was an iconic version that Quentin Tarantino worked on in Japan exclusively, which had way more blood that didn't cut and go to black and white, because that was a studio decision to cut to black and white to save money. But the Whole Bloody Affair will have a new animation sequence. Some of the scenes will be taken out, like the cliffhanger at the end of the first one, because it's all going to be put together in one holistic film as Quentin Tarantino's vision. And it's reportedly 4 hours and 18 minutes. So that is the longest film in history ever made. And it's going to be released on December 5th. I can't wait. Are you guys going to go check out The Whole Bloody Affair? Let me know. But yeah, Quentin Tarantino is getting really big news with his film coming out. I think he's getting ready for another project to be released, because people are raving about this is like a film you've never seen before. There is, of course, bootleg Blu-ray discs, I believe, from Japan, but there aren't 4K rendered upscales. This will be in 4K in the theater. So I can't wait for a physical media release, of course. But he is known as the master of action. So that's really cool. And yeah, I talked about how Avengers Doomsday might be getting a title release. Title change, shall I say. And now we're hearing rumors that during the screening of Avatar Fire and Ash in 2 months, in December, we're going to get our first teaser of the next Avengers film in the ads. So really interesting stuff there, guys. Let me know what you think about all the movie news coming out. Be sure to like the video. You can comment down below what your thoughts are. Are there some news stories you haven't heard before? If this is the first time on the channel, be sure to tell your friends. You can follow me on Instagram, on Threads, TikTok, at Scene Screen Guru for future movie updates, behind the scene bonus feature content, all kinds of exclusives. But until next time, guys, This is me signing off. Have a good one. Bye bye.